Growing up in North Toronto, Mike Crompton got involved with mini bikes and go-karts at the age of 12 and was soon hanging around the garage of local racer Don Wilsmith, heading to Harewood Acres for a race in 1968. As soon as I saw them racing bikes, he says, I was hooked. Crompton started working on Suzuki 80s, Honda 90s, and the impressively huge Honda 175 and 305 Superhawks of the era. Working at a dry marina, Crompton bought a 500 Triton basket case and then got an engine and transmission from a Crash Norton Commando. Crompton learned a lot building the club racer and was soon working for local racing legend Ernie White. Next stops on Crompton's bike shop mechanic odyssey included the cycle shop, Nelson Honda, where he met fellow new inductee Nick Kemp, and then the Kawasaki dealership owned by Frank Mrazek, where he worked on the legendary Green Monster Z1 race bike. Crompton was also helping longtime friend Chris Manley, whose family owned the Kawasaki distributor. Manley was road racing on a Bighorn model as well as an H2 and H2R Kawasaki, and Crompton headed to Pocono in the U.S. and Saint-Air in Quebec to look after the Manley fleet of motorcycles. The new AMA modified production class was part of the national program, the predecessor to today's Superbike class. Yvonne Duhamel was at Pocono to race for the Kawasaki factory and asked to borrow Manley's production class Canadian 750H2 two-stroke for the new division. Manley lent his Canadian production racing Kawasaki 750H2 two-stroke triple to Duhamel to race in the modified production against the big four-strokes of the era. Although they had trouble getting through the AMA technical inspection with their oval number plates and treaded Dunlop K81 tires, Duhamel walked away with the race win. Crompton next moved to Ontario Honda, formerly Nelson Honda, then owned by Rick Andrews and Murray Brown. In 1975, he hooked up with rising junior racer Robbie Meiklejohn to build a unique Honda 812cc4 with Weber carbs. Meiklejohn turned expert in 1976 with a one-of-a-kind Curtis-framed F1 Honda four-cylinder. In 1979, Crompton went to Daytona with Lang Hindle, working on a Kawasaki 900 Superbike, modifying the chassis in the paddock during the event. Steve McLaughlin witnessed the re-engineering and shortly offered Crompton a job in the new Honda Superbike squad, working with racers Freddie Spencer, Ron Pierce, and Roberto Pietri. Steve drove me crazy, but looking back in retrospect, everything he accomplished, it was really something, laughs Crompton, of his friend Steve McLaughlin. Building the Honda team, putting together World Superbike. I was at that first World Superbike race at Donington in 1988, and we were so proud to put a bike on the grid for that race. Back home, Crompton went to work at Meiklejohn's Rocket Motorcycles and also helped National Superbike champ George Marin with his Kawasaki and Suzuki programs. Soon Mike was at Leitner and Bush Engineering and helped rookie pro Art the Dart Robbins when he turned pro in 1982, immediately running at the front on a very special Suzuki GS 1000. Robbins won the race number 1 plate on the Suzuki in 1983, and then Crompton helped Morin with his new Suzuki team for Michel Mercier in 1984. The next year, the program got serious with his first GSXR 750 in North America winning the CMA title. While at the 1986 season opener at Daytona, Crompton spoke to match race organizer Steve McLaughlin and got Michel Mercier the chance to take part in the UK's big opening event. Racing for the North American team, Mercier went on to feature at the match races from 1986 to 1988. At the first World Superbike at Donington Park in 1988, Mercier looked set for a historic podium finish before he crashed out late when he hit some oil on the racetrack. In 1989, Crompton ran the official Suzuki squad with Miguel Duhamel, dominating early before Duhamel was hurt testing for Honda in Japan. The team used super subs Jeff Gaynor and Steve Dick with success, and when Duhamel returned in 1990, he beat Pascal Picot's Yamaha at Shannonville. 2 weeks later in Topeka, Kansas, for an AMA Superbike round, Crompton and Duhamel earned victory working with the Works Yoshimura Suzuki team. By the early 1990s, Crompton was running his own business, Competition Systems, building many sprint car engines and building bikes for top racers, including Lindley Clark, Jeff Williams, Benoit Pilon, and Owen Weichel. He returned to Kawasaki full-time to build engines, eventually taking over the running of the race program as crew chief. The squad earned 8 championships in 4 years. Canadian Kawasaki's Mike Crompton era with Jordan Zoke is widely held to be the most professional effort ever fielded in the CSBK series. Mike Crompton, builder and tuner of champions.